let's see here. Look forward to catch up. Hello. What's up, Unit 4? How are you? You said golfing this evening. Probably won't make it back in time. Have a great chat. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. All right, it says we got 5 people on, 4 thumbs up. I've only seen 1 comment so far, so hopefully it'll catch up here in a minute. But it is 6:59, so I jumped on because sometimes it'll pause. Hello, Lynn Holt. How are you? Hope you are doing well, sir. We got Ranger 10 in the house. Everything's good. I haven't actually shot since that last time I did it. Was busy this weekend, so didn't get a chance to go, but last weekend, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll get a chance to go tomorrow or something, or this weekend for sure. Cheers, everyone. Got some Buffalo Trace. First drink of the evening. That was good. All right. And if y'all have any questions or comments, please let them rip. Lake Ozark guys in the house, how are you? Dirt Tracks in. Brian DeShane, hello. Hope y'all are all doing well. And I've had some comments and just kind of jotted them down or questions and comments. So that's kind of what brought on tonight's chat or, the title of it. Hello, Rich B. How are you, sir? Yeah, it's kind of like collect investments. So, and just to kind of let you know, people were asking, what other items do I collect or what am I into other than, what other items do I collect? What other items am I into other than guns or other hobbies or whatever? So figured we'd do that. And of course, if y'all have anything, and I've been asked about all the scandal, if I'm going to do a video on the T-Rex situation. And I'm like, why would I? It's kind of none of my business, but, I've got some comments on it if anybody wants to know. Or put it this way, kind of going to businesses, I'll kind of throw my opinion if anybody wants to know it. Whew, this whiskey tastes good. What's up, Ranger? How are you? Hello, Rabbi. How are you? Lucas, actually, he stepped down from T-Rex, or left. So, yeah, there was drama there, and I've had people asking me, like, what do you think about that? Oh my gosh, so. Good brother, Big J. But yeah, anyway, Lucas left T-Rex. He's going to be starting his own thing, so. But my opinion on that was, when you work with family, sometimes over time there's big drama, but there was a whole bunch of other stuff with that, supposedly. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't really fall into all the drama, but sometimes that can happen when you work with family. Hello, Clyde. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. Any reason why? I think him and his brother had a very different direction about the company. Supposedly, I think there was drama there with the brothers, and then supposedly there was a bad picture sent to someone close to Lucas. And like I said, I'm not a rumor spreader. This is what people have been saying. It was kind of a obscene picture, supposedly, and it was sent to someone close to Lucas. And that person's been let go. And some people are saying it was sent to his wife, but I don't know. And supposedly when Lucas gets settled in with whatever he's going to do next, he's going to come out and let everybody know. So, but it is what it is. Hello, Scott. How are you, sir? Someone would have been eating boots. Yeah. Yeah. Dirty pics at work's never good. Yeah. You're just asking for something to happen when you start doing that kind of crap. And then supposedly, I think that was the last straw that broke the camel's back, is what they're saying. I don't know that to be true. Like I said, this is all hearsay. I'm not the drama king, and I don't get mixed up in this. There's other channels for that. But, you know, I've just had people ask me what I thought about it. So I thought I'd just share it with y'all. You know, when you get company business set up, or family businesses set up with bringing in all your family and stuff, sometimes over the years, opinions can change and people want more power and blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, that's what can happen. This Eric Swalwell effect, yeah. At work, everybody sends PG memes. It makes me want to puke. Yeah. Hello, Noah. Yeah, I'm sure we look just alike. Yep. Y'all get them. I appreciate it. Ranger 10's all over it. But I've had people ask, you know, what other items I collect or what other items I'm interested in, you know, and I think y'all know that I used to play a lot of golf, and, you know, I did some stuff back in the day with golf. But I do collect Scotty Cameron putters if anybody's interested. And honestly, I've thought about, and these are like really high-end custom ones, JFKs. They're called Just for Kicks. They're one-offs. Got some tour putters. But I'm thinking about selling maybe a couple of them off. Not all of them. I think I've got like 13 of them, different models. But I'm thinking about selling some of them off. So, and they're not cheap. So I'll just let you know. I mean, they're not going to be like $200. But if anybody's interested at all, you know, hit me up or whatever. I could, you know, if y'all ever want a video of what they look like, we could do something like that too. Yeah, I saw that, Brian. I saw that. That's such a joke that she did that. Rabbi said I tried some Scotties and shot better with my TaylorMade, but that was only 200. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's you know, I have a few squarebacks, custom squarebacks, so it's not a mallet. It's just a thicker blade, and I do like those. But I've always been a blade deep mill guy. But I've had mallets in the past, but I've just always gone back to the blade types with putters. But I do have a couple of different necks. So 3 new one-offs, or their new one-offs are like $4,000, yeah. These are older ones, and they even have, like, when you look at the head, it should have a certain neck on it, and Scotty put a different neck on it, so they're like really one-offs. Yeah, and putting is mental. You know, it depends on your loft, your lie. Also, you need to be fit for a putter. A lot of people don't know that, just like you do your clubs, because it's the way that you set up for the putt. If you have a sweeping or an out to in or straight back and through, you know, there are different putters that work better for different putting swings, or arcs is what I guess is what you would say. But yeah, it's all a feel, and I'm a big feel player. So, you know, that's why I have heavier weights for slower greens, lighter weights for faster greens, and I can change some of the weights actually in the putter heads as well. I've got the tools and stuff to do it. I can do it right then and there. Brian said, just sold my clubs. Neck surgery makes nearly impossible to play. I had gotten a handicap to 1, but hit it out of my shadow now. Yeah, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn probably. Rabbi says I try to put my living room, but the dog is convinced balls belong to him. So it's added a layer of complexity. Yeah, no, I totally get it. A. Barnes saying, hit that thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, I appreciate it. Got a Golo 3 and a Phantom 9.5. Yep, I'm very familiar with those. I have some studio one-offs. I have some custom studios. I have some that are custom painted, and I even have custom Scotty Cameron head covers to match them, like rolling dice. Yeah, these are crazy. If you saw them, you'd be like, holy crap. Um, and like I said, they're not cheap. But what I was looking at these is, when you collect things, collect investments. Um, and granted, somebody can have 15 Glocks, and then that is their investment. I totally understand that. Or classic cars, or whatever it might be. But what I want to do is have items that can stand the test of time. Not saying a Glock can't, um, but that really hold their value. And Glocks somewhat hold their value, but that's why. And I'm not saying you have to buy expensive things to hold value. That's not what I'm saying. But I kind of have my hands in everything. A big thing I like to collect, a lot of people don't know, is coins. I have gold coins, silver coins. I have a lot of bills. I have uncirculated bills. Um, my dad was a big coin collector. My grandfather was a big coin collector. So some of it was passed down. Some of it I've purchased on my own. I've got. I don't even know if anybody's seen them. They haven't been circulated since '69, but I've got some $500 bills that have been uncirculated. Um, just I have the Red Star $2 bills. I have stacks of those that are uncirculated. I really like very unique things. I'm not bragging. This is not a brag. I'm just saying I look at those as investments. So when you purchase those, I bought them back when, and now they've gone nothing but up. So I look at things as investments in some of the things that I purchase. Some of those putters I bought at the right time, but now, like he was saying, you look at some of the pricing and they've just skyrocketed. They're insane because he doesn't make them. For one, the styles, the types that I have, he doesn't even make those anymore. I've had some of those for 15, 15 years and never even putted with them. That's how clean they are. So they're almost like brand new. Almost like Bryson D. The shaft went all the way up to my armpit. Ranger says I've only played golf 3 times in my life. Could hit NBA threes all day long, but couldn't get a golf ball to save my ass. I mean, golf is very challenging. It's really good hand-eye coordination. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, golf's not a sport." I mean, it's one of the sports where it's a one-on-one. It's you against yourself. Um, and I mean, I've told Rabbi this before, but when I played golf, that was kind of like my zen. It was super relaxing to me. Now, can it get stressful when you're playing for money and you got skins on the line and things like that? Yeah. Um, or if there's money in the pot or in a competition or whatever you're doing. Yeah. I mean, but it was just always very relaxing for me. Um, I started playing when and I was a football guy. Hell, when I played football in high school and stuff, we used to make fun of people who played golf. And then I started playing golf when I was about 30 and never even really swung a club. And an older man that I knew that I worked with, he's like, "Hey, you ought to try to hit a golf ball." And I'm like, "Well, I've never really done it before." So I think I was like maybe 29 or something. So went to the range and, he just kind of showed me the basics. And, I was just smoking golf balls. And he's like, "Holy shit." And I never played baseball, um, but I could really punch a ball pretty well. And he's like, "You really ought to take this up because you can crank a ball." And so then it just kind of went from there. And, I did some competitions. I don't want to get into that, but went to Nevada, Oklahoma City, um, was on the TV. It was kind of cool. Had a couple of golf sponsors. So I thought it was kind of cool. Um, you're one of the few to pick up the game later in life to get your handicap in the single digits. Yeah. I mean, I just kind of took to it. I mean, I really always had good hand-eye coordination. Um, and I could really now one thing with my swing, it's a little unorthodox. Someone to compare it to is if you look at John Daly's swing, that's the way my swing was. I was over the top, but I could produce a lot of power, a lot of club head speed. So, but again, I probably couldn't do that now. I haven't swung a golf club in probably over 2 years. The last time I did, it was a little rusty on like the first 3 holes. And then after that, I got the tempo down. I was at playing, a buddy of mine asked me to come back and play in a scramble. There was money and stuff on the line. So I was the driver guy. And if any of y'all have been following me long enough, when I first started my YouTube channel, I would put golf videos, chipping videos, long drive videos, actually playing golf videos on YouTube. And people were like, we're here for the guns, we're not here for the golf. So I got 0 views on them. So I had probably, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 of them on the channel, and I ended up pulling them down. I never kept copies of them, so I don't have them anymore. Ranger said I had a full ride scholarship to play baseball. Indiana State, awesome. Ball State, joined the Army instead. That's cool, man. They're not even up anymore, Rabbi. I pulled them all down. A lot of people were like, hey, didn't you used to play golf? You know, some of the long type subscribers. And I was like, yeah, you know. And what's funny, Rabbi, since you've started bringing it up, I'm like, damn, man, maybe when my knee gets better, I should get out there and try it. So Gary says, I consider fishing to be a sport. Hey, it is, man. I mean, you can make money at it. I mean, I've got a buddy of mine, y'all probably know him, Channel Cat Chaser, and he professionally fishes as well. And he wins money and stuff. So, I mean, he has a real job, but he does that on the side too, and he really enjoys it. Yeah, why not both? Guns and golf seem to, they do. And a lot of people have asked me, you know, how does golf compare? It actually really compares to shooting a lot. I mean, a lot. And I've related golf to shooting many times, and people are like, what? But I think if you're a golfer and a shooter, you kind of get, you know, how they interact with one another. But if you're not a golfer or not a shooter, you kind of don't get it. And I've actually killed some animals on a golf course before. Had to. What's up, Trigger Bar? How are you, man? And if I have forgotten any, you know, or if I've missed some of the questions, please let me know. But I collect weird stuff. I also collect Mont Blanc pens. Now, these are some of the older ones. Hello, Daniel. How are you? Happy Wednesday, hump day. Matter of fact, I have some of them right here. I don't know why I've collected these over the years, but I have. There they are. I've got some, like this one is the biggest one they make. And it's the 14 karat fountain. That tip is 14 karat gold. This pen is quite expensive, but here's the other thing. If you buy these right, which I did, if you buy these right, now they're worth a ton of money, because these are the older ones. They're not the newer ones. These are the older ones, where a lot of these have 14 karat and 18 karat gold in them. Not the stainless one doesn't. But the gold ones do. The bands on them are 14 karat gold. They're, but it's weird stuff. It's just weird stuff. People are like, what? I collect razors. I don't shave with those little plastic bullshit and the foam. I actually whip up a lather and use the real old school razors. I have a whole razor collection. Some of these razors are older than me. I have some from World War II. I have some razors that actually came in the shaving kits from our soldiers in World War I. They were brass. The whole razor's this big. I have the guillotine razors. I mean, I have all different kinds of razors, but I have the Lady Shicks, which were way back when. I have some, I even have them, they're dated on my birthday. They're called Fat Boys. Gillette made them, and they screw from the bottom, and you can adjust the gauge that you want. I've got them that were made the month and the year of my birth. So I've gone back and bought those. I have a crazy razor collection. Don't ask me why. I just, that's some of the crazy shit I do or I've done. I have I sold a bunch of them off and it was a good investment. But I don't have quite the tool collection I used to from when I was in cars and as a mechanic back in the day. I still have a good tool collection, but I don't have multiple boxes. I sold all those off, and a lot of the specialty tools that I used as a technician in aviation and cars, I sold all those off because I just wasn't using them and they took up a shitload of space. Um, so, I mean, it's just weird, this stuff I collect. I collect watches. I have high-end watches and I have low-end watches. Um, Not saying you have to. That's, you don't have to have expensive watches. I just like really nice watches. And I like Casios. I have a ton of G-Shocks. I think I have probably 20 G-Shocks. And I have about 6 or 8 really expensive watches. Um, I enjoy watches. I'm not the guy that has the Apple Watch. I will not wear an Apple Watch. I usually wear a watch every day. Um, really enjoy having a timepiece on my arm, whether it be a digital, Casio or whatever. I just enjoy like a watch. I don't really like, that Apple Watch fad thing. I'm not into that. Or not having a watch. It makes me feel weird not having a watch, kind of like not having a gun. Armsman said, I used to try to collect tons of things. My wife said, stop hoarding. So I stopped collecting. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Tax token collection. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Rabbi says, I turned down a gift of a Rolex once. I regret it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When I bought these watches, I have 2 Rolexes, but when I bought these watches back in the day, I got them for a really good price. I bought both of these new, and I got them back in the day. Y'all have probably, well, I know you've seen one of them. The other one, believe it or not, actually, I let my wife wear it because I think it's too small for me. But anyway, back in the day, the smaller watches were the thing, and I still think they're the classics. But I bought them right, and now they've only, but all of my watches are worth way more than I paid for them now today. So there's that. I look at it as an investment. So, it's if you can buy things right, such as guns, if you can buy 2011s, if you can buy, kind of collector type guns, if you can buy them right and hold on to them, they can skyrocket in value. I sold some of my older guns during the, time, because I was just like, man, I know I'm not going to use these anymore. So I sold them off and actually made a lot of money on them, way more than I paid for them. So, I just kind of look at it as that. But again, kind of like what Armsman said, you get to where you have so much crap that it just gets insane. For example, I'll just show you this, because this is kind of crazy. And I don't collect these, but I have this particular one. This is an Uncle Sam bank. Now, they've knocked these off in China, but this is an actual US made one. And you push this little button right here, and you put a coin in his hand, and he drops it in this. This is an all steel bank. This thing weighs like 35 pounds. But, I collect some of the weirdest crap, and I don't know why. I just see stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I want that. So sometimes it just starts turning into weird stuff. What's up, Reloading? How are you, man? And I agree with you. Sometimes, and I've noticed this as I've gotten older, I'm just like, man, I have too much crap. I don't call it crap, but you know what I mean. I just have too much stuff. So the older I get, I'm kind of like, man, I need to start, giving these to family members that were going to get them anyway, or I need to start selling them off. So I'm really thinking of, starting to get rid of stuff. What's up, Crunch? How are you, man? Scott says Big J is an impulse buyer. No, I mean, well, on some things. Harry and I have talked about this. What's up, Harry? Harry's saying the cool thing about watches is they take up very little space. The problem is I can't afford the ones I like. Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, there's a bunch, and you know this because we've both discussed this. There's some watches I want, but I'm just like, holy crap. I probably should have bought them way back in the day because now they're insane, like the Rolex Panda, Daytona. Um, that's the official name, but I want the Panda version, like the Paul Newman type. Of course, that thing's like $2 million now because it's his watch, of course. But I'm not ever going to buy anything like that. And of course, I used to be into cars a lot, so I would buy the vintage cars, fix them up, soup them up, mod them out, and then sell them off or keep them or whatever. But I'm not really into cars anymore. I mean, I am, but as far as collecting them and stuff like that, I don't have the time or the patience. But I did want to bring this up just in case any of y'all did not see the video. And this is for gun guys or just people in general that have flashlights on their guns and dots and things like that. But this is a very unique thing, and I'm so glad that he made it. And he has other options of this I'll show. But Lynx Defense came out with this, and it's called the Battery Vault. It's just a small box. It's made in the US. And it's actually pretty ingenious because I have all these batteries and stuff in all these boxes. But you can have, in the combo pack, you can have four CR123s. You can have 4 CR123s. Sorry if that busted y'all's ears. And then you can have your batteries for your optics all in one. And this is magnetic. And this sucker, listen to it shut. I mean, it's just serious. And you can hold it by the lid. It will not open. But if y'all are interested in it, I've got a link on the video. Y'all can go back and look at the last video and purchase one. He also has these that are all CR123 or all dot batteries. But, if you're interested in it, I'm not trying to whore anything out, but it's got a link there if you want to use it. My dog, I think my wife's agitating my dog, so she's barking. But anyway, I'm actually very impressed with these. The all CR123, I think that would be useful if you have like, if you're like a course guy or a trainer and you're trying to upfit people with batteries. I think that's a reason for that. But I was waiting for the combo one, and he finally did that, so I'm glad that I've gotten it. So let's see here. Indeed it is, but he could have gotten better prices than her. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. He could have gotten better prices than her. I don't know what Rabbi's talking about. I don't know who her is. Did I miss something? Sorry, I was rambling. But, and is there anything in the gun world that's exciting anybody right now? I mean, there's nothing out there that's exciting me. I mean, I pretty much said to myself, I probably am going to buy another CZ Shadow 2 compact, not the carry for me. But I am going to, probably get another. Hey! Stop! Dog's crazy. Harry says the T-Rex drama, which I suspect will be way less than people think it's going to be. Yeah, and it could be. Kind of stale right now. Yeah, I hear you, Hot Pot. I'm just, I've thought about shotguns, ARs. I don't need any of that stuff. Even pistols. I'm just like, what's out there that I need that I just can't live without? That's just, Scott says, I did pick up a M38 Mosin. That's cool. Okay, Rabbi. Brian Poe, he's a great guy. I haven't heard from him in years. Oh, yeah, I haven't either. Yep. Wasn't it Poe Performance, I believe? Yeah, I think that was his channel name. Morgan says, hi, I'm new. Hello, Morgan. How are you? Um, but, like I said, as I get older, I'm like, man, I probably need to start getting rid of some of this stuff. So amazing that when guns are the cheapest, the selection innovation stops in the industry. Well, that's why it stops. I do have information, if anybody's interested, that Shadow Systems is coming out with a new gun pretty quickly. I don't know what the new gun's going to be. Um, they had a video. I mean, they did not call me or anything. They had a video saying that they have a new model that'll be releasing pretty soon. I don't know what it's going to be, a slim line, a big one, or whatever. I don't know, but they said they have something coming. So that could be pretty interesting. I mean, I've only had experience. Now I've shot the the MR 920, the full size one. It wasn't my gun, and I liked it. I thought it was great. And I've got the CR 920 XP, and I'm really enjoying it a lot. Um, but I don't have a ton of experience with Shadow Systems. So, and I don't know if y'all saw, did you see the new trigger tech trigger for the Glock? It's for the Gen 5s. It's pretty interesting. If you watch their video, they're saying that it can go from like 2.5 pounds all the way to like 5 pounds. And it feels really like a 1911 trigger. And it's cool how they have it set up. They have a little schematic that shows like kind of like a 3D kind of thing where it's being put together. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. So, and they're like $254 for the whole kit. But I mean, Trigger Tech makes pretty damn good shit. I've got, I think, one or two of their triggers and some ARs, and I like them. But I don't know, I haven't had any experience with this particular one. So that might be kind of cool. Hey, what's up, G23? How are you, buddy? Yeah, Arjun's saying I'm for sure trying one of those triggers. Yeah, I mean, I think it might be kind of cool. I think it might be kind of cool. Yeah, Morgan, you're welcome to hang out. I really appreciate you. I saw that you had subbed, or I guess you had said that you had subbed. That's awesome. Yeah, we like to talk about guns and gear and all kinds of stuff. So you're welcome, as long as that's what you want to talk about. You're always welcome. We always like new members here. But that was kind of like my little thing on collecting, investments. And of course, stock market and things like that. Sometimes you can lose your butt. Sometimes you can make great money. But in coins and gold and silver, man, I find that it's really hard to beat sometimes. So that's why I've collected over the years. Let's see here. It says Harry Silster saying the trigger tech looks good, but it turns the Glock into a fully cocked striker. The feature set and tech is cool, but yeah, I gotcha. And like I said, Morgan's saying he likes the AK-47. That's cool. I've just never been, I've owned AKs, but I've never been a hardcore AK guy. Personally, nothing's wrong with them. It's just not my, not my deal. And 7.62 by 39 is a great round, so there's nothing wrong with that at all. Glock's next evolution, they make triggers that wasn't forged from diodrine dog shit yet. Well, that's true. Yeah, they've never been known for their triggers, for their stock triggers anyway. That would be pretty amazing though if they came out with something that was like, hey, this has a great trigger now, but and it was factory. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see. So like a trigger is similar to the Weather Find. But yeah, I was gonna say Link's Defense makes badass bags. If y'all are interested in any of his bags or anything on Link's Defense, you can use that code also in that video that the last video I put out. Yeah, I mean maybe they'll have that trigger tech at Texas Gun Experience where I can just test it out before I buy it or whatever if I like it. Morgan says, does anyone have a gun safe? Yes, probably a lot of people on this chat own them. Yep, I mean, there's good ones, there's bad ones, I personally, even though they did something stupid, I do like the Liberty gun safes. But they make good stuff, and they're made in the U.S. So, but I mean, especially as far as your, basic gun safes, I mean, you don't have to spend a ton of money to get gun safes. And I kind of like the idea that Harry had, or that I think he owns some, where it's kind of like I don't know if it's a safe or a gun locker. Maybe it's kind of like a locker where it's got like, where you can see through it. It's got that like the webbed cage where you could see them in there. Like, I do kind of like that too. And I thought about maybe getting one when I give one of the safes to the son-in-law. Uh, Clyde says, next to Liberty, what's your next pick? Ooh, man. Uh, I mean, you can get some cheaper Liberties. I think they have like Brownells, or not Brownells, Browning. It's marked Browning, but I think it's a generic made by Liberty safes, and they're a little bit less expensive. Um, I mean, I would just look around. I don't really, I don't know all the safes out there. I'm not like the safe guru. Um, I just know the ones that have worked for me, so I've stayed with them. Gary says, I have been looking at the MGI Hydra Merrick 15 modular weapon system 3-gun kit. Changed from 7.62 by 39 to 45 or 9mm. I don't need it, but I kind of like it. I'm not familiar with that at all, so I wouldn't want to say. Oh, Rhino safes. Yeah, I have seen those before. Unless you're willing to spend $5K plus the lock, it's really the only difference between most safes. Yeah, they're all using sheetrock. Yep. Not especially fireboard till you spend the real money. Yep. I mean, what I would love to have, and I'm sure a lot of people would, is where you could completely secure a room and fireproof it, and like have it filled with concrete and all of that other stuff through the walls, and then put a safe door on the front of it where you have to walk into the room. That would be badass. And then you could have safes in there if you want, but once you secure the room, kind of like a safe room, I think that would be really cool. And I even thought about kind of doing that, but my wife's like, you're not going to change that door out and put a vault door on there. She said that, she doesn't want people that come in the house seeing that because it's not pretty. So, yeah, exactly, Harry. I was going to say, if you're going to build a house or you have that room, go ahead and lock that sucker down, man. Make it the way you want it. That would be awesome. Yeah, especially if you're building the house, man. That would be the perfect time to do it. Discreet, safe room, yeah. 2 layers of sheetrock, has the 2-hour fire rating, regardless of its rating for that. Yep. There's some that have more. They have like a sheetrock fire safe. It's like a layer, and then they have another sheetrock, and then another layer of the fire safe. But Harry's right. You are getting into the real high dollar ones there. So, but let's see here. I wrote down some of these questions. Let me see if I can read them. Oh, one of the questions is, why do you like a 30 cal bullet over a 5.56? I mean, there's nothing wrong with 5.56. Nothing wrong with it. I've just shot it in the past. I'm just, I mean, I like the oomph of a 30 cal bullet over a 5.56 or a 22, so to say, on steroids. Yes, it's faster and all that other stuff, but I like a little more weight. And I'm not going to be shooting to 600 yards or 500 yards all the time. So I want a little more thump. I want something to go through car doors. Um, pop engine blocks, things like that, if I had to. Not saying all 308s will puncture a engine block, but if it's an aluminum engine, it will. But you know, I just prefer a 30 caliber round if I have the option or the choice. And it's just a me thing, you know. Nothing wrong with that. Armsman saying 30 Super Carry and 224 Valkyrie wins them all. Yeah, yeah, those are awesome rounds. Everybody's buying those. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with 7.62 by 39. I'm just, if I have to choose, I am choosing a 300 blackout over that. Gobneck says, try being in California as a renter, having to move safes in and out of various complexes while left eyes you not fun. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to be nice, but I personally, you know, I'm a Texas guy. I haven't lost anything in California personally, but I understand a lot of people are stuck there. I get it. Right up there with O-lights, yeah. Yeah, I feel for you. 270? Hell, I have 270. Come on now. I actually still own 270. And it's not, you know, superior or anything, but I actually own them. 270, 243. You know, hell, I still like 30-30 and 30-06. I mean, I think those are cool rounds. A lot of people say, oh, you're a FUD, but I mean, killed a lot of animals with them. Oh, and I did talk to my wife about, since Armstrong brought up the 5.7, I did tell my wife, I've got a gun that I really want you to shoot, suppressed and unsuppressed, and just give me your opinion. And she was like, oh, you know, and at first she was like, what is that, you know, because she hadn't heard of it. So I am going to get her to the range and let her shoot it and see what she thinks about it. Thanks, Rabbi. Have a good one, man. Harry says, I think 5.7 is dying off for right now. I think it's going to be like 10 millimeter. It's going to keep coming and going in waves. Rabbi, hit that new range, man. Is a quiet round? Yeah, it's loud without it being suppressed. Let's see if we got any other, you know, crazy questions here. Oh, and this is something I want to bring up to y'all, and I want to get y'all's honest opinion. So please list it below what you think. Okay, y'all know I have two channels. I have one is the big BJ's Pit Stop, and then I have this channel. I'm thinking about doing a little bit of car stuff and kind of some other stuff I'm interested in. If I put it on this channel, would y'all watch it? Or should I only put it on the other channel, the Big J's Pit Stop? Just want to get y'all's opinion. You know, whether if I'm talking about golf clubs, like I want to show some golf clubs or do some stuff like that, just to kind of mix it up. Would y'all be offended if I put it on the gun channel to mix in a little more stuff I'm interested in, or only put it on the other channel? What do y'all think about that? Consolidate the channels? Because I had some people say, well, this is a gun channel, it's not a barbecue channel. But I am going to start, this is something I want to do, just so y'all are aware of it. I do want to start, you know, talking about some cars and trucks and stuff like that I'm interested in, maybe doing some reviews on them. You know, and Harry's right. I wanted to start, I've actually thought about this. I want to start doing some food reviews, not turning into one of those, you know, hey, this burger's better than this burger, not that, but some places that I enjoy going to, things like that, saying, hey, you know, here's a food place I enjoy, or if I'm traveling somewhere, here's some place you ought to try, you know, stuff like that. Ranger 10 says would like to see a barbecue channel and chat. Okay. Are you talking about, well, I do have a barbecue channel, but are you talking about doing some stuff on that channel, or moving some stuff over to that one, or putting it on this one? What camera do you use while recording your videos? I use my cell phone. That's all I use. Everything you see is from my cell phone. I don't use cameras and stuff like that. And what's crazy is I've got some of those little small cameras and stuff, but I'm not into the editing. Y'all know that. So everything's done by my cell phone. And I've got a mic and, some stuff like that. Ranger's into his Blackstone. Yeah, I hear ya. Armsman said I'd do it on the same channel, Sleeping on Rumble also, yeah. And I am going to start a Rumble. Either way, Big J, fine with me. Thanks, Ranger. A lot of barbecue live streams, yeah, there are. And I even thought about, when I do, like a long smoke or something, maybe going live and doing like a long smoke and kind of showing you what I'm doing while I'm live. Maybe do a little whiskey review while we're live. Just kind of hanging out, talking while I'm sitting outside and smoking something, and then go check it. And I think that'll be interesting if y'all want to do some live. They might be long, but, didn't know if that would be interesting to y'all. Lake Ozark guy says rather have it on one channel, but whatever works. And I've had people say that. They're just like, hey, I'll keep it on one channel. Because this is the thing we're talking about right now and kind of what I was bringing up. Guns, I just got to move my leg here real quick. Give me a second. And that thing's popping. It does get kind of boring when we're just talking about guns and stuff because, and I'm just saying this, don't take it the wrong way. But even as a true hardcore gun guy, sometimes I get a little bored of guns. I mean, I enjoy shooting, I enjoy carrying guns, I enjoy talking about guns, but there's nothing revolutionary. So that's why I'm like, I kind of want to do some different stuff. So that's why I thought, and I've got the largest, I guess, viewership on this channel. So that's why I kind of thought about maybe introducing some things on this channel to lead them to the other channel if that's what y'all want or something like that. But, I am going to start firing up the pits again. I think my leg's good enough. We did move one of my pits up to the closest porch. So I've got a pit on the porch now. I don't have to go out to the big patios now. So I thought about, doing some cooks there, and I've got chairs set up there where I could just hang out. My wife even has a really nice umbrella set up for me so I could sit in the shade if it's too hot. And then I've got a big barrel smoker that's out on the side over there, and I've got one over here too in the far back, so I'd walk across a little bit of grass and stuff to do that one. But I want to do some tri-tip, some pork butt, ribs, brisket, sausage, and of course steaks. I've got a bunch of meat in the freezer I need to start seasoning up and cooking. So, but, just want to see if that's something y'all are interested in on this channel, or do you want everything to go to the other channel? So let me know. Ranger says, I don't have a smoker, thinking about getting into that though. Honestly, Ranger, and I mean, I've done the big smokers. I've had the 18-foot smokers and the big monster smokers. The barrel smokers by far are the most friendly for a lot of newer smoker people. They're not that expensive. You can get some really good ones. And it kind of is a smaller compact package. It's easier to maintain for a lot of people, and they cook great food. I love barrel smokers. I made one back in the day and sold it off, and I ended up buying another one before my accident, and I haven't even fired it up yet. I've already oiled it and prepped it. I've got a video on my other barbecue channel for that where I prepped it, but I am going to be firing that bad boy up. So pellet smoker, my thoughts. I'm not a big pellet smoker guy. I've owned one way back in the past. They've gotten a lot better. I'm not saying they're bad. I just can't pull all the smoke flavor out of it, because when you get a pellet and you grind up the hickory or the mesquite or whatever wood you choose into the small pellets, it just doesn't give that true smoke taste for me as a hardcore barbecue guy. So I'm big into lump charcoal, big chunks of wood, and you can use that in a stand smoker, a barrel smoker. where you really can't get all that flavor. Pellet is super convenient. If you want to put something on, set the temperature, and have an app and have it go beep when it's ready, that's super convenient wise. But I'm not saying they're horrible, but they're just not me. So, you know, what's up, Alaskan Ballistics? How are you, buddy? So, let's see here. Lake Ozark, it would be nice to if you have some good detailed written receipts on the cooking videos so we can all give it a try. I'm not really a written guy. I'm a hands-on guy. I've been barbecuing, you know, I learned it from my dad way back in the day. He was actually on a professional barbecue team as a hobby for Mellon Energy Company. We used to go around and compete, or he did, with his team at the old Houston Astrodome way back in the day when the Houston Oilers were around, and we used to do the circuit and travel around. I learned a lot from him, and he was a hell of a barbecue master, and he even won a lot of trophies and all that shit. So I've got what I learned from him, and I can cook some damn good food. So, I mean, my wife and friends, they always want to come over and eat, so I've never had any complaints. I'm not saying I'm the end all be all. But, you know, I've got some little tips that I do, you know, and we could do a prepping the meat video where I'm prepping it, showing you what I do, how I trim it, you know, how I season it, how I salt it, and well, kind of put it in the fridge overnight after I salt it to really suck that meat up so it's super juicy. But yeah, I mean, I could do all that stuff. And even on the other channel, if y'all go over and look at it, there's some of that stuff on there now. It's Big J's, like Big J, and then apostrophe S, Pit Stop, Pitstop, Big J's Pit Stop. I also have it on, and people never follow me on X, but I have two channels on X. I have Big J's Pit Stop, and I have Big Johnson. So I have two X channels over on Twitter/X. You know, if anybody wants to follow over there on the Big J's channel, I have, you know, a lot of food. I've got some whiskey aged ribeyes that were absolutely amazing. You know, I've got some stuff that I've done over there if y'all want to follow me on X too. Nobody ever does, but Young Gun says, let's see here. Just took a break from a class wanting to say hi. Where we watch tomorrow, thumbs up. Thanks, Young Guns. I appreciate you, buddy. Just uploading videos. Moose ribs, huh? Cool. Never had moose ribs before. Ranger says, just got my notary here in Indiana. Waiting on stamps. Also going to do remote notary and IPEN. Cool. Thanks, Ranger. I appreciate you, buddy. And I haven't done a lot. I haven't done a lot on the barbecue channel recently because, you know, the leg situation, but I want to get that cranked up again. I just really don't have, you know, I can't go live over there yet. I don't think. I can check it again maybe, but I think you have to have so many subscribers, and I don't have that many subscribers over there. But, you know, I want to start going live, and that's another reason I talked to the Armsman. I might just go ahead and set up a Rumble account so I can show guns on it and stuff like that. You know, and that's the thing when I do YouTube, you know, I can't show the barbecue gun, what gun I'm carrying when I'm, you know, doing the YouTube, but I could have it laying there and just kind of scan over it during the video. You just can't touch them. So, you know, I just thought it might be kind of cool to do like a live one night. You know, maybe go to the pit, open it up, shine the flashlight on it, you know, when it's dark outside so y'all can see what I'm looking at. I like mesquite on steaks. You know, there's different woods I use, you know, when I'm cooking different things, and different rubs. You know, salt, pepper, garlic's a big thing with me, but I do use some rubs and some brand name rubs that y'all can buy. Let's see here. Alaskan Ballistics saying, okay, solve this Yankee issue for me. I'm not a Yankee. So people up here from the north call grilling hot dogs and hamburgers a barbecue. No, that's called grilling. Being from the south, that's a cookout. Yes, that's a cookout. That's just grilling. It's not smoking, and it's not a barbecue. So I agree with that. Yep, I agree with that. Because when I say, and I will say on the channel, hey, I barbecued some steaks because that's what people know, but I always say grilling steaks because there is a difference between grilling and smoking. So definitely a difference. But, like smoking meats are smoking sausage, smoking brisket, smoking pork butt, ribs, things like that. When you're grilling a steak, grilling hot dogs, that's more of a cookout. I guess you could put barbecue sauce on both and call it barbecue. Some people do that shit, but I don't. But yeah, that's just grilling. Having a cookout, yes. Having a cookout. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been up north before and they're like, hey, we're having a barbecue. And I go and it's like a bunch of hot dogs and hamburgers or Polish sausages. And I'm like, you cook this on a Weber. Nothing, I love Weber. Do not get me wrong. I love Weber. But I'm like, you cook this on a Weber. It's not a barbecue. It's grilling. It's a cookout. And that's cool. I love cookouts. There's a lot of times I do that. But I did hit my butcher. He had a special. He had it last month, all month long, where you get a filet mignon, and it was bacon wrapped filet mignon, and you get a cooking or a baking potato. So one filet and one baked potato for $9. So every filet you buy, you get a baking potato. I've already used the potatoes, but I bought a bunch of fillets because it's a hell of a price. I mean, they're good fillets, and it's from a butcher, not a freaking department store or grocery store. I mean, it's a butcher. So these are really, really good cuts of meat. So I bought some of those. I got some ribeyes from him. They had a ribeye special. So I got some ribeyes from him. And if we're naming meats, I love fillets, don't get me wrong, but I also really love a good ribeye. Ribeye is probably my favorite cut of meat. A lot of people love sirloin. I do prefer a ribeye over a sirloin. I've got a bunch of T-bones also. I'm not the hugest T-bone fan. And I'm granted, some of that meat's involved in that. I get it. But, and a good T-bone is good, don't get me wrong. But that's not my favorite cut of meat. It is by far a ribeye. So that's the way it is, Brian. For this special, he does the whole fillet, and these are pretty big fillets. They're about that thick, and they're about this big around, and it's a flat $9 with a baking potato for each one. So I bought quite a few, and you can buy 12 per day. So when he has that special, I'll load up. But we've already done the potatoes. I did some really, really good baked potatoes where I poked them. I did real olive oil on them. I did the sea salt on them, the good sea salt, and then baked them, and they were amazing. My wife loved them. So we just had baked potatoes that night. I say any barbecue with vinegar in the brine slathered on while barbecuing, served at the table in sauce, ain't barbecue. It's meat smothered in sauce. Yes. Oh, Gary likes porterhouses. Yeah. I mean, porterhouse is a good piece of meat. Lake Ozark guys say, did you say you're on Rumble or going to be on Rumble in the future? I'm thinking of doing a Rumble in the future. I have not set up a Rumble account. When I do, I'll let y'all know. But Armsman's been beating me up to do a Rumble because you can go live on there, which I think would be cool, and you can show guns. So I'm thinking about setting up a Rumble account to where, on the lives we can show guns and stuff like that. And maybe, within that week, I'll do a YouTube live, and then maybe I'll do a Rumble live. If you're ever in New York, Brooklyn, call 6 months in advance. I won't ever be. I've been to Peter Luger's before in Vegas, but yeah, I'll never be in New York. I won't go there. So I'm not trying to be a dick, but I just won't go there. But I have been to Peter Luger's in Vegas before. Ranger says Rumble would be fun. No Kansas City style, ain't barbecue. I've been to Kansas City and I like their barbecue. Some of them, their burn-ins are really good. But like I say, everybody has, they're big into the vinegar base and stuff like that. So is Memphis. Texas is more SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. No sauce on the side. But that's kind of the difference between. But I can appreciate good barbecue in Kansas City. I can appreciate good barbecue in Memphis. Smoked barbecue. And of course, I'm Texas, so, I really like our stuff too. But Big J, you can go live from the range on Rumble. Yes, that's what I've heard too. I went live one time with YouTube prior to their, this was prior to their no guns on a live. And yeah, they whacked me hard. I went live, was showing guns, I was shooting all that from the range, and yeah, it wasn't good. The aftermath was pretty bad. I thought I was going to get the whole channel ripped down. Gary says I like Rumble better than X, but I hear followers are hard to come by. Just what I heard. Yeah, and I have friends who do Rumble, and some say it's not that great. Some say it's okay. So I really don't know. G23 say I've gone from the range 3 times on Rumble. That's cool. Yeah, and I just have no experience with Rumble. So you guys with Rumble will definitely have to chime in and let me know what y'all think. Do you like it, not like it? Let me know. But I think it'd be fun to do some, live barbecue chats and stuff like that. I've really been thinking about that, and I might do it on this channel, maybe for the first couple, and then, I can always transfer some of the videos or share them over on my barbecue channel as well. Because it won't be live on the barbecue channel, so we can probably get away with, having the gun there, not touching it, but you know what I mean. I was going to do some whiskey reviews. I just want to do some different things. Guns are not my whole life. I love guns, don't get me wrong, but, I am getting somewhat burnt out on just guns only. And I just want to kind of share some other experiences that I enjoy and some other items I'm into. So hopefully y'all will come along for the ride. I think anybody that can relate to guns would like barbecue and cars or trucks. I would think that would be okay, but you never know. Some people will get upset, but like I said, I think it would be a lot of fun. And kind of doing like a live chat where I'm prepping the meats, getting the chimney ready, getting the live fire going, getting the smoker up to temp, showing you how I do it. And I think it would just be fun. Not saying I'm the best barbecue in the world, but I've never had any complaints. Yeah, Ranger said it's summertime. Great to talk about cookouts. Yeah, cookouts and smoking or barbecue. Yeah, so I think it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, and I've got a buddy of mine that does custom woodworking, and he's building something for me. So I should have that on the channel, on the barbecue / channel. And I can recommend his company. He makes awesome products, and I think the people who like to cook and things like that would definitely be interested in it. So, I can turn y'all on to his website. And he makes some really, really, really nice stuff. So, and they're all custom made. I mean, he's a hell of a woodworker. So I think y'all maybe, I don't want to say it out loud till I get it, but I think y'all are knowing, well, Ranger already guessed it, but it's a big old cutting board. You're correct. He makes some badass cutting boards. I've got cutting boards, but some of mine, I used to have a real big thick one, and I mean, I treated it properly. I did everything, and I bought it from a commercial company, and it just didn't hold up very well. It started pitting and splintering. And that's the thing about his, they don't do that. So I told him, I said, make me a big badass cutting board. So he's in the process of doing it. So, but Ranger guessed it, so I'll go ahead and let it out of the bag. But anyway, but yes, he does custom cutting boards out of different woods, and they're really, really cool. And he does the drain, the cutout for the juice tray. He knows how to barbecue. He's a barbecue person himself. So he makes really good barbecue too. So, but he's a woodworker. So, and what better? I'm not a woodworker. I don't have the patience for it because some of these cutting boards he does, man, they're very, very time consuming. So that's why I said I want you to make me a cutting board. Him and his girlfriend were over last Friday night. We sat outside and we went to dinner and then came back and we sat outside and had some drinks and talked and stuff. And I was telling him I need you to build me a cutting board, so he said he would. So that'll be awesome. So I'll show it on the channel and I'll put his link up. If you want to buy anything from him, you can. I'm not whoring him out or anything, but he just makes really good stuff. So sorry, but was that easy? Oh yeah, I figured I set you up pretty well, Armsman's or Ranger. So yeah, you guessed that one pretty quickly. I made one last year, wood burnt. Yep, 275 in it, treated it. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you do them right, and the one that I bought was from a custom wood guy, but I just don't think he did it right. I don't think he bonded it correctly, and it started like fraying apart. I don't wash them in the dishwasher. I don't do any crazy shit. He uses all kinds of wood, Brian. He does different effects, oak, red oak. I mean, he does it to where you can get the veins in it or the different section colors. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not a woodworking guy, so I don't want to speak from him. But after he makes it, I can have him explain it to me, and then I can explain it to y'all because I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't speak about stuff I don't know or that's not my forte. So, but I will get all the lowdown after he makes mine and let you know. He has different sizes and all that other stuff. So I just said I want a big one that I could put a Packer brisket on, and so he's making me a big one. But the way he does it, he cures them. I mean, it's not like he makes them in 10 minutes. No, they're put together correctly. So I'll spend the money and get a good one with him. But yeah, we are at 8:07. If y'all have any other ideas that y'all want to see, but I thought just kind of doing like a live barbecue chat, maybe have some whiskey. I kind of give my little review of a certain whiskey, that y'all might enjoy. We talk about the barbecue or cookout gun for the evening. I thought that would be fun. Um, maybe it'll be hot and I'll be sweating and I'll look like a little sweaty pig. Um, but it's kind of what I want to start doing. I want to just start doing some different things, not just sitting here talking about this and hey, what gun's coming up? What can we look forward to? I want to start expanding my horizons. I tried it with the golf thing. That didn't work, way back when. Maybe it would now, but I can't swing. I don't have an ACL in the right leg, so that wouldn't work unless I was chipping or putting, but y'all probably don't want to sit around and watch that. And again, even if I was trying to crank a drive out there, I couldn't do it without an ACL because I can't push off the right leg. I am walking less and less with this my cane. I'm walking around the house a lot without a cane. Still not super fast, but moving along, getting better. I got the PT in the morning, so we're pushing in the PT. I'm squatting. I'm holding one of those medicine balls and squatting down and doing that stuff. So we're pressing on. I have decided. I'll just go ahead and throw it out there. I talked to the orthopedic guy, and I'm going to prolong doing an ACL or a knee replacement for a while. I'm going to try to live without it, see how it works out for me, because I just don't want to be down anymore. I just don't want to go under the knife and just be out of pocket for a while. I want to live life. That's what I want to do. If I live without an ACL, I do. But I'm just, wanting to figure out what I can figure out. So that's what we're going to push for, and that's what's going to happen right now. Let's see here. Bad audio? Is it really bad? What's going on? It's staticky? See if it's gotten any better. Uh, oh, huh. Well, I'm showing I have really good internet, so I don't know what's going on. Seems better now? Okay. Sorry about that. You know, I don't know what's going on. I show I have full bars and the whole works, so I don't know. Yeah, I knew ACL would be a 1 year down for sure. Yeah. And that's what I just don't want to deal with. And I've already decided whenever I do it, it's probably not going to be an ACL. It's going to be a knee replacement. So, um, just so I can get it fixed one and done. I don't want to have to go through this shit twice or three times, but anyway, yeah, we've set up the back patio. We got the furniture all set up. Cushions are all cleaned and tricked out. Got a big umbrella out there. I got, like I said, one of the big smokers out there. I've got a grill here and I've got another smoker over on the side. So I wanted to start getting out and smoking some meat, cooking some stuff. No, I've got it hooked up to it's got it hooked up to full power. So no, my battery's not dying. It's actually got a cord plugged into it. So it should be good. I mean, I'm showing full power. So I don't know if, hopefully nothing's happening. I don't know. But it is 8:10, but that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. I'm just kind of branch out a little bit. I am going to do some car stuff. Uh, I'm going to be doing some antique cars and some tricked out cars, resto mods, just to kind of give you some. It's not going to just be new truck stuff. It's going to be some old classic stuff. I'm going to go back to some of my roots. Probably some of my buddies might even be seen in some of these videos. Um, I've talked to a couple of them and they're like, yeah, that's cool. I'm in. Um, Damn, I wonder why it's cracking up. That's weird. I'm sorry about that, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. But, like I said, I'm gonna start showing some classic cars. I've got a really, really good shop that's not all that far from me. Um, and I've already talked to those guys. I'm gonna be start showing some of their cars, what they do there. They do a lot of cool stuff. That's a really, really cool shop. And I thought I would share some of the stuff. I've actually used them in the past. They did some of my upholstery work way back in the past. So that's why I thought about, sharing some of that stuff with y'all. I think y'all would enjoy it. They actually retro like shit cars and make them awesome. They have a whole mechanic line. They have upholstery line, paint booths. They have everything at this place, and they specialize in old classic cars or retro mods, or resto mods. So I thought that would be cool to kind of introduce them to y'all. So I'm going to be doing that on my channel too. I thought that would be cool. So, oh, car show, yeah. And if I go to any like Mecum auctions or Barrett Jackson or anything like that, I thought about doing some live streaming and some filming there. I think that would be cool. Also, I go to SEMA every year. I even went to this last year, but I didn't do any filming because nobody watches it. I've been to SEMA like every year and done filming and put it up on the channel. Nobody watches it. So, and a lot of these were like, up and coming trucks. Some things I really couldn't talk about. I was even going behind. Some of it was behind the rope, or I guess since I'm a manufacturer, some of it was behind the scenes and nobody watched it. So I was just like, well, I guess I'm known as a gun channel. So that's why I, kind of pulled some of that stuff down too. But anyway, that's kind of what I want to start doing. I just want to start branching out, and I hope y'all are along for the ride. I'll probably put it up on both channels for a while just to see how it goes. And I'm not saying I'm getting away from guns, because I'm not. Please don't think that. I just want to kind of open up to different things. And hopefully y'all will enjoy it. But anyway, it is 8:13. We'll go ahead and start winding it down. I'll be on for another 5 minutes or so. If y'all have any questions, comments, anything y'all want to see. I have a lot of people. I mean, If you're interested, I could even go into some aviation shops that I have buddies that are still in aviation. I could probably even go to the shop that I used to run. Um, if y'all want to see anything with aircraft or jet engines or anything like that, I could probably bring some of that stuff back in the mix if y'all want, if you're interested in it. So let me know. I mean, and even if you're watching the chat afterwards while we're not live, if there's any of that stuff y'all want to see, go, yeah, hey, I want to see this or I want to see that. And, if we can make it happen, I will. So I think it'd be fun. Hey, Insight Freedom, how are you, man? Long time no see. As I was working out, listening, hope all is well. Yeah, it's good, man. Hope you're doing well too, brother. Good to see you, man. It's been a long time. But, and then I also, just so y'all know, I'm going to get back to traveling out of state. So I'll be doing some more traveling. That's why I thought, I could head up some food places, some really cool places that I really like and that have eaten at in the past. And, maybe turn y'all onto them. A lot of them. I know I have a lot of Texas followers and Louisiana followers. So I think some of these places would be like, oh hell, I've seen that place but never stopped, or something like that. Kind of wanted to bring some of that into the mix, let y'all be aware of it, because man, when I hit the road, there's one place I want to hit really bad because they have the best freaking bacon cheeseburgers and onion rings. Whew, not that I need it, but they're pretty amazing. So, I think y'all will appreciate that too, because it's hard to beat a good bacon cheeseburger and onion rings. But and they're all fresh. It's none of the frozen shit. They're all OG. They're from the real deal. But they're the greasy spoons. Insight says, speaking my love language. Man, this place is awesome. It's one of my favorite places. Every time I drive through there, I'm like, I got to plan at the perfect time so I know that because they also serve breakfast. But I'm like, I got to make sure I'm there for the lunch because I got to get that bacon cheeseburger and fresh onion rings because they're awesome. And y'all might even be surprised by it because most people don't go there for their cheeseburgers and onion rings. They go there for another reason because they're known for something that, and their other thing I'm talking about is really good, but we'll talk about that too. We want taco truck reviews. Yeah, I love taco trucks too. Smash burgers, yes. I can make a hell of a smash burger. I've got all the stuff and I've made them before and everybody seems to like them. I like them crispy on the edges. That's the correct way with the smash. You gotta get that super thin with the pepper. Yeah, I do. I spice them. I spice them up. And I make a homemade, it's kind of like a homemade chipotle mayo. It's really good. A garlic. It's actually a homemade garlic chipotle mayo. And it's really good. And I do mine with jalapenos. I do pickles and jalapenos, but I don't do any lettuce. I love lettuce on hamburgers, but for smash burgers, jalapenos and pickles, man. And that sauce. Craig says we only pretty much eat at mom and pop places. This is a mom and pop place that I'm talking about. So yeah, matter of fact, they only have one restaurant. They're not anywhere else. They're only in this one place. And when I tell you, and I bet people see it, they're going to be like, oh crap, I've seen that place, but I've never eaten there. Or I go there for the other stuff, I also have a whiskey burger seasoning to die for. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I like to drink the whiskey. I do actually put whiskey in my glaze for my ribs. When I do a whiskey glazed rib. So I do add 2 shots of whiskey in the glaze for the ribs. And what's funny is my wife doesn't like whiskey, but she loves the ribs. So she's like, "Oh my gosh, this glaze is awesome. What is it?" And I'm like, "It has whiskey in it." She's like, "I don't like whiskey." And I like, you like these, and also put it on the pork butt too. And we're gonna do some Texas tailpipes. So I'll do some jalapeno wrapped in bacon with the stuff that I put in it. I won't give it away, but yeah, I love to cook, man. Love to cook. But I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. It's always a great time. Y'all make this happen. We got 17 viewers and 20 thumbs up, so that's awesome. I guess some people have taken off, and I understand, but I really appreciate y'all so much. And again, if you're interested in the Lynx Defense combo. And like I said, he's got the other ones where it's all CR123s. He's got 3 versions of these. I just like the combo. That's the one I was waiting on, to where you get the, man, this magnet, I'm telling you, this thing is tight, which is awesome. But this one has the CR123s and all of my dot batteries. So, and that magnet is serious. But, you know, check this out. I got the video on it. If there's a link there, if y'all want to use it, I appreciate it. But, and you can get bags and all kinds of stuff from him. He's added a lot more stuff on the site too. So I think that's pretty cool. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night, and I'm gonna start probably really thinking about cooking this weekend. So we might fire up a, and I will say this, I even thought about, because some people have asked, they're like, what's your wife think about all this crap? I thought about having my wife's voice. I won't show her face. She's beautiful, but I won't show her face. I won't do any of that. I don't bring my family into my videos. I think y'all know that. But maybe when we're sitting out, and I've got the camera on me, you know, y'all will hear her. And, you know, maybe interview her, or what she thinks about the barbecue and stuff like that. She's been in some of the barbecue. If you go over to the barbecue channel, I've given her taste test and she gives her opinion, but I've never had her on camera. I don't want to drag them into this. You know, I want to protect my family, so I think y'all can understand that. But I appreciate y'all so much. Have a wonderful night, and remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care. Have a great night.